Let's talk about relationships. I'm Christiana Moore, Associate Director of ASU Wellness and Sun Devil Fitness.
Your partner or multiple partners aren't you, and realizing the new golden rule, which is treat people the way they want to be treated. And so over time, really getting to know each other really well and giving that person what they need and them giving you what you need in return.
I think definitely it'd be trust and communication, being very open with your partner, even if it's with difficult subjects and with concerns you have with them. I think it is really important to be able to talk about everything with them and have that open flow of communication. I think also respecting your values and who you are as a person, respect is a huge part of it. And even if you have disagreements on certain things, being able to have an open dialogue and being able to discuss in a way that makes you feel safe, in a way that makes you feel respected, and that your opinions are being heard. And I think that is some of the keys to having a healthy and long-lasting relationship.
Definitely to start, I look for trust and some type of commitment, someone who can be there for me, because I want to be there for them, and for us to just have that level of trust where no matter what we go through, I can rely on them. That's like a nice spaces to have.
I feel like effective communication is catering towards each other's communication styles. So, setting those in the beginning of a relationship, whether that is through texting or phone conversations, or if the individual that you're in a relationship with wants to do likes face-to-face better, I feel like that's effective communication styles.
I think understanding the person's communication style is really important. So, for example, in my relationship, I'm very extroverted and my partner is very introverted. And we've both had to learn a lot about each other and adapt to each other's communication styles, not in a way that compromises either of ours, but just understanding that we don't communicate exactly the same way. So I think that's the first step. And then I think having conversations that are difficult without becoming, defensive or verbally like harassing that person or getting overly angry and emotional.
So effective communication would be having the trust to sit down with somebody and talk to them about how you're feeling without fearing that you're being judged, and also willing to sit down and hear someone without judging them and taking their feelings into consideration, but without putting down your own.
Well, if I had a friend or someone in one of my classes that I noticed was in an unhealthy relationship, the first thing would be to show yourself as someone that supports them and is there for them, someone that they can open up to, because an unhealthy relationship is a very hard thing to admit that you're in. And you can't go up to someone and say directly, you're in an unhealthy relationship or this person is abusive, because then they'll get defensive and that'll only bring them closer to that relationship. It's really important just to be there for them, to be a good listener, to help them come to the conclusion themselves that it's a relationship that they don't want to be in anymore. And the best thing you can be is loving.
Another important thing is to have them identify those behaviors on their own instead of going up and saying, I think you're in an unhealthy relationship and you need to leave, because that will make them feel very defensive, will make them feel like, well, I love this person, so I'm going to stay with them and I'm going to leave this friendship with you. So making sure to ask questions like, well, I noticed he or she did this. How does that make you feel? Those sorts of things, having them pinpoint those behaviors is super important.
So it usually needs to come from a place of care and, establishing that the reason you're bringing this up and the whole reason you don't want them to be in that relationship anymore is because you're concerned for them. And it becomes about well-being and understanding that because of usually like power dynamics and the way I think a lot of relationships are nowadays, it's going to have to be their decision to leave that relationship and their decision to see maybe what you're trying to get across.
For additional information on healthy relationships, visit wellness.asu.edu. Additional resources on campus that can be helpful are sexual violence prevention, ASU Health Services, counseling services, and Sun Devil Fitness.